Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to Energize Live. It is kind of a sunrise and energize this morning because the sun is about to rise. We might go out and take a look at it, but happy Monday. This is the first Monday in December, first official Monday in December. Welcome to Energize Live. This is where we make magic in the morning. If you're listening to this, watching this on the replay, either one, listening like a podcast or watching on the replay, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to know who's watching it later. If you are here live, you already know the expectation. You already know the standard. This is interactive. This is reciprocal energy. We're going to make our energize. We're going to have some conversation, and we're going to get about the rest of our day. But this is where we kind of start our day with some positivity, with some conversation, with some thoughts, maybe a mantra, sometimes a little truth love, sometimes, sometimes JV beat JV and telling you the things. So good morning, happy Monday. Tell me something you did over the weekend that made you smile, that made you laugh, that made you happy. Tell me something you did over the weekend while I make my Energize. First of all, if you are not using strawberry lemonade Energize, I don't even know who you are in this life. Like literally, what are you doing if you're not using strawberry lemonade Energize? And for those of you, because I know there are people who have been, part of our Energize Live community for a while and are still not drinking Energize. Like, how do you even show up to an Energize Live community not drinking Energize? Like, at this point. Like, what? Like, what are you doing? Michelle Martin, you watched the show Wednesday with your son. I watched the first one. I thought it was cute. Kendra, you went to Nashville, Tennessee. You took a trip to Nashville, Tennessee. I assume you mean Nashville, Tennessee, not Nashville, Indiana. Helped your husband with your home wrestling tournament. I have no idea what that means, but I'm interested. Put your dog on the treadmill for an hour, okay? Wrote out your 3-year vision. Finished decorating for Christmas. Oh, God, I love getting these glimpses into your life. It's so amazing. Finished decorating for Christmas. Love that. Parent Artist Advocacy League Gala. Love it. What else? What else did we do over the weekend? I went to Disney Springs. First of all, let me tell you that this weekend here, I say Orlando, I actually live in Windermere. But it's gorgeous this weekend. And my husband and I were laughing a little bit because when we moved here, I don't know why people say this when you move to a warm weather state. No one ever said to us when we moved to Pennsylvania for his job, or even when we moved to Indiana, like, oh my gosh, get ready for the winters, they're going to be terrible. No one ever said that to us. But we moved to Florida and people were like, oh my gosh, get ready for the summers, just get ready for the summers. And we're like, okay. So then we lived through the summer and it was fine. And now this weekend it was like 80 and sunny and gorgeous. And I'm like, yeah, that's why you live through the summer. So you get to this gorgeous weather in the summer, but also it wasn't that bad this summer. So we were just laughing about that. Okay, hold on. I got to go get my little rag. Okay, then I have to scroll back up and see what you all did this weekend. That was exciting. Okay, decorated for Christmas, cleaned out your spare room. That's a big one. Like when you do a project like that, that's a big one. Christmas shopping, decorating our tree. It. Okay, so we did some fun things over the weekend. I went to Disney Springs and did a little bit of, not a lot, but just a little bit of shopping. I picked up some things for Jessie, who clearly doesn't have a whole lot of opportunity to shop while she's on the ship. So I picked up some things for her to give to her cast members. And then yesterday, our fun activity was we went resort hopping to look at all the trees. We clearly did not get to all the resorts. So we went to the boardwalk. We walked around the boardwalk. We went to Yacht and Beach Club. We went to the Boardwalk Resort, Yacht and Beach Club. We walked around the boardwalk. And then we went over to Wilderness Lodge and walked around Wilderness Lodge. So we still have many more to go. But that's what we did over the weekend. And the weather was just gorgeous. Got to see your son play basketball. Love these. So lots of fun things this week. I mean, you're kind of getting into that time where it's lots of extra stuff happening, right? I used to laugh all the time because my girls were highly, highly involved in the arts community in Indiana. So we were in children's choirs, ballet, dance. The high school, Carmel High School, had a huge holiday spectacular show. It was a really big deal. So tons of, like, every weekend from, November through December, like, we had shows, we had things we were doing. And people would always say to me, like, oh, are you going to see blah, blah, blah? Because I have a reputation as kind of an arts supporter. And are you going to go see this and that? I'm like, no. I am the mom of the children who are in the show that you all are coming to see. So no, I'm doing all of that. Oh, you went to Candlelight Processional. We haven't, this is not on straight. We haven't set up what date we're doing that yet, but we are going to do that too. I know Josh Gad is the narrator next weekend, so I don't know, maybe we'll try to get over there next. And I kind of want to go on a week night, not a weekend, because I think it'll be a little bit less crowded, if that's possible right now in the Walt Disney World Resort. Okay, I gotta take a drink of this before it spills. So it sounds like we had some good weekends. I like it. Okay, so here's what I've been thinking about in my mind. Okay, this cup. Did you see my cup for first thing that I had this morning? This cup is wanting to leak. What are you doing? That's not how we're going to operate on this Monday morning. We're not going to be leaky loose. Okay, is there a more perfect cup for me? Look at this cup. Look at this cup. I mean, Christmas and dogs. I actually have the big one too for my shake, but it's Christmas and dogs. Is that not the cutest thing in the entire world? Here's what else I love about Swig is this. I mean, it does come off. I don't know why. Maybe just to wash it. But I love this rubber because then when you sit it down on your countertop or wherever, it does not go anywhere. You know what I mean? So that's another reason why I love Swig so much. Okay, here's what I have had on my mind. And we talked about this. We talked about it a little bit last week. I talked about it Saturday on Energize Live, if you managed to catch that. We talked about this idea of create versus consume. Create versus consume. And we've been talking about thriving in the holidays. And, today I just did a daily dose of real talk today. And I hope it came out the way that I wanted it to come out. But here is what I think spurred it in a way. Okay, so let's, we read these posts. You'll be scrolling on social media. Don't act like you're not scrolling on social media. And you'll read a post, you'll see a post, whatever, and then there'll be a comment underneath that post that was like, oh, I really needed this today. Now, I respect that. I respect the acknowledgement that, okay, I needed this reminder today, da-da-da. It's interesting how often I hear that. Oh, I needed this today, I needed this today, I needed this today. And it made me think of this concept, and this is what I did in my daily dose, and I think it completely ties in with the idea of create versus consume that we talked about on Saturday, and the idea of reciprocity. And it's this: nobody else is responsible for your motivation or your inspiration than you. It's not anybody else's job to motivate you. It's not anybody else's job to inspire you. We all have people in our life who do that for us. We all have people who motivate or inspire us, or who provide an aspirational look at what life can be. We all have that. People that we look at and go, oh, golly, man, they just keep me on track. I see what they're doing. They inspire me so much. They keep me on track. I'm going to do that. And they sort of give you a little extra gumption, as my grandma used to say, give you a little extra gumption. However, If that person doesn't show up for whatever reason, or they're not around, or you don't see them that day, it's not their job to motivate and inspire you. That motivation, that inspiration, that gumption, that old-fashioned word that is now going to be our Energize Live word, that is an inside job. And I get really, really tired of women especially saying, well, I'm just not feeling it today. I'm not feeling motivated, or I'm not feeling inspired. It's not anyone else's job to do that besides you. And I feel like the reason we get off track from that is because we're not connecting our goals and our dreams to how we're living our life. No, I know I've said this a million times. Nobody's inspired to wake up at 5 a.m. No one's motivated to wake up at 5. I used to get up at 4:30. I used to get up at 4 sometimes. No one's motivated or inspired to get up at 4 or 4:30 or 5, whatever. You're inspired, or you're excited to create your life on purpose with purpose, and that happens to include getting up at 5 a.m. or whatever habit it is. But it's not someone else's job. I used to have coaches on my team would be like, if you could just text me every day and remind me to, and I'm like, are you high? Are you high? Are you literally asking me this? Because the answer to that is a hard no. You want me to text you every day and remind you to do your job? Here, let me just message Carl Deichler, the CEO of Team Beachbody, now Team Body, and go, hey, could you just text me every day and remind me that to invite people? Are you high? Like, what? It is nobody else's job to motivate or inspire you. It's nobody else's job to do that. Okay, so the second part of that question is, well, then how do you keep yourself motivated and inspired? I think it's because you keep yourself motivated and inspired by connecting very deeply to your goals and your dreams. It's really easy to talk about goals and dreams. It's harder to actually pursue a path to go after those goals and dreams. However, that's what life is, right? And it's no one else's job to keep you inspired and motivated on that path. Now, should you take as a personal quest the job of putting people in your life who do inspire you? Yes, absolutely. You should be surrounding yourself virtually, digitally, in real life, whatever, by people, with people who inspire you, whether they know it or not. But it's not their job to inspire you. You should just want that sort of vibe and ambiance in your life every day with those people, right? So I think that again comes back to that what we talked about on Saturday, this create versus consume. And when we talk about create versus consume, I think the immediate thought process is that we're talking about content. Are you creating content? Or are you consuming content? Because we hear that a lot, right? Creating versus consuming content. No, I'm talking about create versus consume in energy. In energy. How much energy are you consuming? I just needed to feel inspired today. I just needed to hear that today. Can someone just inspire? Can you text me every day and remind me? That is consume, 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 consume. Do you know how draining that is for the people who are create? And so what we're searching for, what we're working towards every day is to get this balance between I'm creating the energy, I'm creating the karma, I'm creating the vibe that I would want to receive, I would want to consume in the world. I'm creating it, I'm consuming it, and it's this beautiful balance. Okay, first of all, your IG handle is way too long and making me crack up. But the fact that you just said this is your daily text might be, actually, I need a shirt that says that. This is your daily text. This is your daily text, right? It's not my job to text you every day. This right here is your daily text. And this idea of, are you creating the energy that you also want to consume? Because that's what I think of when I see these people, and I know I've done it too. And I'm not saying that that every single time we see something written on social and we write underneath it, oh my gosh, I needed this reminder today. I'm not saying that every time we're doing that, we're depending on someone else to motivate us. Sometimes it really is an acknowledgement of, I needed that reminder today. Totally. My question to you is, if you had to put an equation on it, if you had to put a percentage on it, how often do you need that reminder today? How often do you need that motivation today? How often do you need that inspiration today? How often are you consuming versus the percentage of how much you're creating? Because you are a power generator. You are an energy manifester. It's so interesting to me. People will say, how do you have so much energy? We could be doing this at 5:30 a.m. and this is how I would be. Because I'm freaking obsessed with the life that I'm creating on purpose to purpose. I'm obsessed with it. And if I'm not obsessed with it, then guess whose job it is to change that? Me. It's my job. I'm obsessed with this life that we're creating. It doesn't mean it's perfect, because nothing is, and you can't even define that, because nothing's perfect. It doesn't mean that I've reached all my goals. So far from it. That's also what keeps me obsessed, is I haven't reached all my goals. I'm not even close to reaching all my goals. So I'm really obsessed. I really love that we live in Florida. Well, who made that happen? Me. So I could be doing this at 5:30 a.m. I could be doing this at 3:30 a.m. We can't be doing it at midnight, because I'm not a night person. We could do it anytime in the morning, okay? Anytime in the morning. And I would have this much energy because I'm really freaking obsessed with the life that I'm creating on purpose. And if I'm not, then that's on me to change. I cannot rely. You cannot rely. We cannot rely on someone else to motivate or inspire us. It is not their job. Stop depending on someone else to motivate and inspire you. You have to be the energy generator in your life. Because at the end of the day, when you get to the end of your life, who's going to be there? You having a conversation with the higher power that you believe in, going, you know what? You gave me these gifts, you gave me these talents, you gave me these dreams and these goals, because guess what? If it's sitting in your heart, it's there for a reason. You gave me these dreams and these goals. I did something with them. This was a good life. Okay? There ain't nobody gonna be there besides you. You and that higher power that you believe in. Not, well, how come so-and-so didn't show up to motivate me? Or why was this No, it's you. You. And the beautiful thing about that is, what is the only thing in this life that you control? You. It's funny how it works that way, right? You are the only thing that you control. So you don't need to depend on someone else to motivate you or inspire you, because you already have it within you. And if those goals and those dreams and that passion and that curiosity of, gosh, I wonder what might happen, or what if I did this, or what if I tried this, or this looks interesting, that curiosity, that's in you for a reason. It wasn't just dropped in you randomly. You have it. Given to you by the higher power that you believe in. You best do something with it. And it's not someone else's job to motivate you or inspire you to do something with it. Look at the equation of create versus consume. How much are you sitting in this consumption bucket over here, just like sucking the energy and the life out of people, versus actually contributing? The goal is to try to get it a little bit closer, right? We fill our own cup, because that's super important. And we also manifest and create the energy that we want. The two go together. That, to me, is where that beautiful reciprocity happens. And I'm going to use an example right now that may be relatable, maybe not, but hopefully it's applicable in some ways. And, it's not personal. This is just an example that is happening in my life that I think maybe could be semi-relatable. So in the Team Beachbody / Team Body space, most teams have a place that they gather. We're all part of digital communities, right? Whether it's a community around Disney, or community around business, a community around fitness, whatever it might be. So most teams in the Team Body space have a digital online presence. We have a team page, right? Spartan Nation team page. And it is interesting how many people are in that team page and how many people actually participate in that team page, right? There's a huge percentage of people who consume in the team page versus a tiny, tiny percentage of people who create in the team page. And by create, I don't mean create content. I mean create energy. How can someone create energy? How can someone create energy digitally? You could cheer on your teammates when they reach a big goal. You can participate in message threads. You can show up on the team calls, on the team lives. You know, there's a myriad of ways that you can show up on the Zooms that we do, if we do a workout or whatever it might be. There's so many ways that you can actually bring your presence and your gifts and your energy, right? In this team page, let's say I had 100 people in there. I would say 70 people are consuming, 30 or 70%. 75% are just consuming. Take. 25 to 30% are actually creating the energy. And I know, whose law is that? That 80-20 law? What law is that? That 80-20 law? And I know that's kind of generally the case, but I don't think it has to be. I don't think it has to be. I don't think it has to be in anything. I don't think it has to be that way in any relationship, in any community. I don't think it has to be. And I think that the more we focus on how can I contribute, how can I create energy, how can I bring some reciprocity to this relationship, the less we have to, this is where it all connects, the less we have to rely on someone else to motivate and inspire us. That's where it all connects. Because when we are focused first on how can I show up and how can I bring energy and passion and my gifts and my talents, because everybody in the world has gifts and talents. Okay, so women, get okay with saying that you have a gift and a talent. Does that make you feel weird? Sometimes it makes me feel weird too. Like, let me just share my gifts. Makes you feel a little like, a little sideways. I know women are weird like that. We're weird like that. Let's get over that, okay? Because every human being in the world was given by whatever higher power you believe in, some sort of gift and talent that's unique only to you. You have a light in you that's unique only to you. You were given it only to you so that only you can share it. It's your story, it's your light, it's your gift, or your talent. When we wake up in the morning and we're obsessed with the life that we are creating on purpose of purpose, and we show up with the drive to share those goals, that talents, that light, to create, rather than first like, how can I consume? How can I get motivated? When we show up with this drive to let me put my gifts and my talents and my energy out into the world first, you don't have to rely on someone else's motivation or inspiration. Because that energy will come back to you. That energy will come back to you. So that's kind of how it all connects. That reciprocity, that create versus consume equation, I think it's really key for us, especially going into the holidays, to be looking at that and really assessing how often we say, I needed that today. I really needed that today. I really needed that today. How often are we saying that? Again, it's nobody else's job to motivate or inspire you. If your life itself is not motivating and inspiring you, and by your life itself, I mean the life that you are in charge of creating. If the life itself that you are in charge of creating is not motivating and inspiring you on the daily, you are in charge of doing something about that. It's not anybody else's job to motivate or inspire you to make that change. Have those people in your life that remind you of what you're capable of. We all need people in our lives who see our potential and our purpose before we do. We all need those people in our lives who give us the aspiration. We all need people in our lives who are just a little further down the road than we are, who keep us going. But it's not their job to motivate and inspire you. They're just living their life. They're just living their life. It's not their job to do that. But we all need those people in our lives. So get those people in your lives. Let their aura and their energy infuse you, and wake up every morning with this drive to create your life on purpose of purpose, knowing that if you put the energy out into the world, you will not have to rely on other people to motivate you. You'll be so on fire for your life. And when you are on fire for your life, guess who you attract? Other people who are also on fire for their life. So now your community becomes full of people who are just on a freaking mission to create their life on purpose of purpose. Those are my thoughts on a Monday morning. What do you think? How are we? Does it make sense? Does it feel like it's all kind of come together? This talk about reciprocity, this talk about create versus consume, and now this talk about it's your job to motivate you. Like it all connects. Your task again today, your homework again today, is to really get cognizant of the places that you're in, the places, the spaces, the community, the relationships that you're in, and your create versus consume equation, your value of reciprocity. I want you to get cognizant on where are you in these places, these spaces, these communities, these relationships, these situations. They can be work, they can be family, they can be friends, they can be communities, it can be all these places. And get cognizant of this create versus consume energy. And if you're in relationships where you are create, and the other person is consume, that might be a relationship to look at shedding going into the new year. Only you know that. Only you know that. But when you have so much in your life that is sucking and consuming, that's a pretty heavy life to live. And the more we can shed that stuff, the lighter we are, the further we go. So your task is to really get cognizant on, are there places where the other people are consuming, and you are doing all the creating, and that's not an equal balance? They may need to be shed. Are there places where you are consuming, and not creating, and you need to step up and step into your power and your potential and share your gifts a little more? Get cognizant of that too, because you know why? Because you're a grown-up, and nobody's responsible for your motivation or inspiration besides you. Really get cognizant of this create-consume ratio and how you can balance that out a little better, because I swear to you, when you do, and you really wake up in the morning with a desire to create the energy that you would want to receive in the world, you won't have to worry about someone else motivating you. I promise you, you won't. When you wake up in the morning with the drive to create first, let me put out into the world the energy that I want first. Let me put out my gifts and my talents and my light. Let me get that out there in the world. Let me be the create person. Let me manifest the energy that I want. Let me be the power generator in my life. When you do that first, you won't have to rely so much on someone else to motivate you, because you will be so on fire for your life that you'll help other people find their spark as well. So I hope that helps you on this Monday morning. Some thoughts on a Monday morning, the first Monday morning in December. As always, if you're listening or watching on the replay, let me know. So many links in my bio if you want to stay more connected. Remember, we have the inner circle, my IG subscribers that are right here. We did something really fun last Friday. We did JV's favorite things, and they got a sneak peek of a podcast that is coming out later this week. They got a whole list of my favorite things and links to go get them, all the things like that. So if you are looking for a little bit more connection, looking for, and then we have a private message thread that we stay connected with as well. So if you're looking for a little bit more connection, I know the inner circle, we had a lot of fun last week, didn't we, Lorraine? And then we have a private message thread where we stay connected all week too. So if you're looking for that, you can subscribe on my IG feed, and we stay connected. Really, actually, we're talking all week long, which is really cool. Tomorrow's a big day, big launch energy. The program Sure Thing launches tomorrow. My test group starts tomorrow. And then next week, I'm starting my 21-day launch into coaching again. So there's a lot of fun opportunities to stay connected, to work more closely, to do some really cool stuff now going into the new year. If you have any questions, as always, I'm just a DM away. Let's stay connected and let's make it an awesome, awesome Monday.